And I'm going to start applying it here. And you could, right off the bat, you could see that. Hey guys, so I know some of you guys were curious as to powder foundations and like a powder foundation routine. So on today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I do my powder foundation routine, what I put first, what I never skip, and things like that. So let's get started right now. I already moisturized my face. Usually I use the CeraVe AM moisturizer. It does have SPF. It works really well on my oily skin. So I applied that already on my face about 10 minutes ago. What I'm going to do next is prime my face before applying anything else. And for that, I'm going to use the ColourPop All-Star Matte and Blur Primer. This one is said to be matte, but it does have a creamy consistency and almost like a tacky one. So this one has been working really well for powder foundations. If you're using a cream concealer, I always do that first. Today I'm going to be using the new Maybelline Super Stay Concealer. This I think just came out like last week. It's in a squeezy tube and it does have a doe foot applicator. So the packaging is kind of weird. I'm not really used to this kind of packaging, but I mean, I don't mind it. I got mine in the shade Caramel 40. Their shade range was a little tricky because the ones that are like tan or medium tan, those look like too light. And so I ended up going with Caramel because I prefer a concealer that's the closest to my skin. So this is what I'm gonna do. I apply it on my under eye. And then I'm gonna blend it out with the Juno & Co. Lavender Sponge. This is a newer sponge that they just came out with. And it gives you really nice blendable coverage with whatever concealer you use. Like it blends in the concealer really well, keeping that full coverage. It's really nice. The caramel shade works really well on my skin tone. It almost matches it a little bit. It is a little warm, but once I set it, I feel like the powder that I use kind of neutralizes it a little bit. So I've been loving the combo, and you're gonna see in a little bit what powder I use. But this sponge is so soft, so bouncy, and I just love it. To the other eye. This concealer is said to be waterproof. I haven't really tested it for that. I mean, besides crying, my eyes tend to water a lot throughout the day because of allergies. And I feel like this concealer does stay on and does stay put throughout the day. Alright, so next I'm going to set the concealer, and for that I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade medium, and this is what I mean by it like neutralizing it a little bit. And even then, I feel like the shade is not really horrible, but it does neutralize it a tiny bit. And maybe not neutralize it, maybe it just brightens it. Brightens that area a little bit. Hopefully you can see that on camera. And you guys, usually when I'm in a hurry, like I literally have 5 minutes or less, this is all I do, curl my lashes, and I'm out the door. It doesn't look bad, it blends in. I feel like you have enough brightening under the eye to look wide awake. But if you have a little bit extra time, then that's where the powder comes in. So for powder, this is the Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Powder Foundation. I was applying it with a brush at first, and I didn't really get a lot of coverage. And then I started using it with the sponge that it comes in, and the coverage was like 1,000 times better. But now I'm applying it with this. This is a Juno & Co. They're like blue sponge, and it applies powder so beautifully. So I'm gonna dab the sponge into this powder, and as you can see, it really loads up nicely on the sponge. And I'm gonna start applying it here, and you could, right off the bat, you could see that coverage. And I just kind of blend it in into the skin, buff it in. It gives you really nice coverage. For a powder foundation, I think it gives you a full coverage. Look at what it does to my nose. Like it just blurs out anything. And you don't really have to worry about the concealer under your eye. It shouldn't move once you set it, and it should stay in place. So You can work around it. I mean, if you want more coverage under there, you could even swipe it under the eye with the powder, but I wouldn't. I just kind of work around it, make sure everything's blended, and you're good to go. These sponges, if you guys haven't checked out Juno & Co., take a look at their website. They have some really nice sponges. They're all different. Like they're newer colors. Their density is a lot softer. The blue one is going to give you the most like thickness, most full coverage. And these are just really nice and bouncy, but they all do different things. I even have their pink one. I just love each and every one. Check them out because their stuff is amazing. I know Real Techniques just came out with one that's kind of similar to their pink sponge, but for the price at Juno & Co., you really cannot beat it for the quality. It's amazing. I'm going to bronze the skin a little bit, and for that, I'm going to use Private Party by ColourPop. This one right here. It does have a little bit of a sheen. It's really gorgeous on the skin, though. It's not glittery or anything like that, but it gives you like a subtle glow with your bronzer. Alright, for blush, I'm going to use this pink blush right here. My Sun and Stars. It's from their, like, the Kathleen Lights ColourPop collection. And a little goes a long way. So, sometimes you gotta be careful with this blush, but it's really pretty. Alright guys, so I'm not going to bore you with, like, lipstick, eyebrows, eyelashes. I feel like that is kind of like your personal taste. You can actually set your face. Usually, I like the what is this? A Pacifica Pineapple Flower Spray to set it. I've also been enjoying the ColourPop All-Star Face Setting Spray. So today I'm gonna use this one right here, which I think it's on sale at Target. Another powder foundation that I have that I love is this one. This is the Bare Minerals Original Powder Foundation. If you guys want to see a video on how I apply this particular foundation with the actual concealer, I think there's 2 videos on my channel. I'll try to link them down in the description below and also next to me so you guys can click on those and see how I apply this specific powder foundation. And yes, until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.